great pleasure to be here with all of you today. Thank you for that introduction, and thank you for inviting me to join ICADR. ICADR has been a great partner to us. I see that Sid, you're also online today. SIMC also has been a great partner to us, not only in Pakistan, but in other countries on all of our mediation initiatives. I want to thank all of the speakers and the guests for being here and participating in this very important event. Let me start by very quickly introducing the Commercial Law Development Program, as many in the audience might not know who we are. CLDP is within the department, the U.S. Department of Commerce, and it's the Technical Assistance Office where we provide assistance in the areas of commercial legal reform to over 50, maybe 60 countries. We work with countries on helping them draft and amend laws and regulations, build and improve institutions like ADR centers, and help improve the capacity of government officials and private sector representatives around the world. We have a very active portfolio in Pakistan, which includes our work on alternative dispute resolution, ADR. Previously, when we started our ADR project in Pakistan, I used to oversee our team in Eastern Europe, Central Asia, and Pakistan. That's sort of one team we have. I currently serve as the Deputy Chief Counsel of our organization, but I am joined by the current head of that team, Eastern Europe, Central Asia, and Pakistan, Tamar Satterwhite. I'm also joined by my colleague Eric Ives, who heads most of our ADR initiatives in Pakistan. So I just wanted to acknowledge that part. So why ADR? Well, as you all are aware, that mediation and other forms of ADR are important mechanisms for resolving disputes. It can be a critical supplement to the formal judicial dispute settlement process. It's not only an efficient and an effective way of resolving disputes, it can also improve the efficiencies in the court system through reduced case backlogs. On the commercial side, it contributes to a faster, cheaper enforcement of contracts. On the non-commercial side, it increases access to justice. So every country needs efficient, effective, and transparent contracts enforcement in order to facilitate commercial activities and attract investments. This is something we constantly hear as an area of concern for those who want to come to Pakistan and invest in Pakistan. They think that dispute resolution in Pakistan is very inefficient. But the contribution of places like ICADR in providing an essential institution to the people and businesses of Pakistan is commendable. Now, I will candidly tell you why the United States government is investing so much money in helping Pakistan with ADR. I'm sure you're wondering about that. So yes, Pakistan having a good dispute resolution mechanism is what's needed for attracting investments and improving commercial activities for the overall economic development of this country. That is good for Pakistan, but it's also good for the United States and its businesses, for Marriott, for Hilton, Microsoft, Google, Apple, MasterCard, Visa Card, all other American businesses that exist in Pakistan. So it's truly a win-win situation, and it's truly an investment in Pakistan. Now, let me give you a quick...
Hi, thank you, first of all, Justice Jilani, Justice Faisal Arab, Justice Junaid Ghaffar, Justice Mia Gul, Justice Jawad, Justice Yusuf Ali Syed, Justice Adnan Chaudhary, and other honorable judges. I can also see in the audience some known faces. I would like to mention Justice Arif Khiljiji, Justice Zafar Sherwani, Majid Aziz Sahab, Muzaffar Mirza, Amar Nasir, Irfan Kamar, Mehreen, Buland, and Kamran. Thank you so much for this kind invitation to be here and give this what you have called a special address. Um, I have been given strict instructions to by our moderator, Mr. Bulant and Kamran, to introduce SIMC and about our activities in Pakistan. I have limited time. I had actually prepared a short presentation, but I would like to just talk about what what we do at SIMC. I'll quickly introduce you. So I'm Siddharth. I'm working as a counsel for Singapore International Mediation Center. We are a not-for-profit institution started in 2014. Actually, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary this year. Majorly, we have three mandates to follow. Most importantly, case management services, trainings, and promoting mediation. I would just like to quickly take you through our case management. So, as a first mandate, we manage complex cross-border disputes, and year by year. So we also started slow. However, year by year, we have seen that our case load has risen, and now we have more than 400 cases that mediated with us, which has actually amounted the total dispute value to more than 16 billion US dollars. Um, our average settlement rate, which we are very proud of, is above 70%. And being at in a special place, Singapore, um, it is also our mandate to promote mediation and promote Singapore Convention of Mediation. Um, we collaborate with many countries in promoting mediation and also with notable agencies like CLDP. And we have had the opportunity to work closely with Pakistan with the support of CLDP and especially Mrs. Marak Khan. Apart from that, we also work with large financial institutions, which I believe Pakistan would be aware of, such as Asian Development Bank. We work closely with them because institutions like those also have large valued disputes, and they internally also need to create a pool of mediators or also try mediating the cases. One As I said, one of our major mandates is also promoting the Singapore Convention on Mediation. And I was just surprised by the fact that yesterday, in an event, I believe in Lahore, it was announced by the Ministry of Justice of Pakistan that Pakistan has now agreed or is now supporting to sign the Singapore Convention. We are very happy to note that because, as you know, 57 countries have now signed it, and Iraq being the latest signatory, and Sri Lanka being the latest country that has ratified. So I'm trying to like segue now promoting mediation to also once we promote mediation we also provide trainings, and at SIMC we believe highest quality of training, and we are stringent in selecting and offering the training programs to maintain high standards of mediators. We have offered our trainings in Singapore, China, Japan, Korea, India, countries like Jamaica, Costa Rica to cover Central America and South America, Sri Lanka, Maldives, and latest being to a group of judges, lawyers, and academicians from Pakistan who traveled to Singapore, and we spent a good 7 days with the group, um, um, undergoing through intensive training and then progressing towards accrediting as semi-certified mediators. Um, I was also asked to mention that some types of cases that we do. So it's not only that we deal with certain typical kind of cases, but we see complex cross-border cases, and we have parties varying from more than 60 jurisdictions. From energy sector, recently we are seeing crypto, and I would like to specifically talk about this particular case, which we can discuss openly as it was reported in the Global Arbitration Review, because the message that I want to close is actually also in line with today's title of the seminar. So this is a case between a Korean energy company, Korean fuel cell company, and a US energy company. It was worth more than $1 billion. There were five different types of arbitrations and litigations going on since last 5 years. It was then decided to go for mediation, was mediated, and finally settled. It not only settled, but both the companies actually ended up making a new deal. So I just wanted to share this case study in short, to showcase that it is the mediation's magic that not only transforms conflict into collaboration, but not only resolves a dispute, but can transform a conflict into collaboration or making a new deal. I just would like to close by saying that we are very, very happy to collaborate with IBA, with support from CLDP, and we have plans to offer high quality mediator trainings in Pakistan in collaboration with IBA. And as CLDP and Mrs. Marakan mentioned, that our goal is also to make IBA that IBA becomes the main accrediting body in Pakistan. Once again, thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm wishing you the best for this seminar. Thank you.
I plan to confine myself to the subject of mediation, which is the primary purpose of this seminar, and the steps that we have taken towards the development of this very important area of law in the Islamabad Capital Territory. It all started with an amendment that was made in the Code of Civil Procedure through the Alternative Dispute Resolution Act of 2017. This statute is restricted to the Islamabad Capital Territory because the federal legislature is the legislature for the Islamabad Capital Territory. The awareness regarding this statute is something which is new and recent. For that, we have to thank the Legal Aid Society, and in particular, the Honorable Mr. Justice Khilji Arif Hossain Sahab, who took a team of people to Turkey to study their model of mediation. And what we were most impressed with is that their law regarding mediation came in 2013. And up until 2022, we were told that different courts and tribunals in that country had settled 3 million cases through mediation. We thought that that number was wrong, but we were corrected. It is indeed 3 million cases that were settled through mediation. We have very large dockets. It would be a dream come true for us to concentrate more on judgment writing in fewer cases. The way to deal with it is through a two-pronged approach. One is to encourage mediation, and the other is to impose costs religiously in every other case. Our civil courts had to be made familiar with this law of mediation. Initially, they were most reluctant, and they were of the view that encouraging parties who are already before the court to go into mediation may give the impression that the judges want to shy away from adjudicating upon the matter, and washing their hands of the responsibility of conducting a long drawn out trial. But no, they were told that if they refer matters to mediation, if they are successful in convincing the parties to resolve their disputes through mediation, and that process results in a settlement agreement between the parties, they would be given the score of a contested case. In this regard, the Administration Committee of the Islamabad High Court is taking a decision, and this should become an impetus for the subordinate judiciary to refer matters to mediation. In Islamabad, what has happened is that through funding arranged by the Legal Aid Society, there were in the region of 40 lawyers who were trained as mediators. The Chartered Institute of Arbitrators had sent their team for training, and then they were assessed. They now have the status of accredited mediators. The Federal Judicial Academy played a role in this, as well as the Ministry of Law. And now we have in excess of 60 accredited mediators in the Islamabad Capital Territory. They have been notified as neutrals by the government of Pakistan. Neutrals is the term which is used for a mediator under our Alternative Dispute Resolution Act. And the lawyers have to have at least 7 years of active practice in order to qualify as neutrals. The disputing parties are not under any obligation to appoint a duly notified neutral as their mediator. With the consent of the parties, they can appoint any person. But having been trained as a mediator by the Singapore International Mediation Center, the importance of the training is so crucial for the process of mediation. An untrained mediator who does not know how to develop a rapport between the parties, how to explain to them that the process is confidential, how to win their trust over, how to convince them to sit on the negotiating table, how to identify the object from the position, so that it can be identified as to what is it that a party actually needs, what is their true interest, as opposed to the positions that they take against each other. It is very important for a mediator to be trained in order for the process of mediation to be carried out successfully. It is not just lawyers, but retired judges, civil servants, ulama can also be appointed as mediators. The government can have training courses, and this is what the Act provides, but such training is not statutorily mandatory for them to be appointed as mediators. The matter which is before the court in a form of a suit, the statute obligates the courts to, on the first date of hearing, invite the parties to have the matter referred through mediation. Now, the underlying foundation of our statute is consent. Without the consent of the parties, matters cannot be referred to mediation. Without the consent of the parties, a mediator cannot be appointed. So it's entirely consensual. There is a talk for arbitration in certain sectors to be, mediation in certain sectors to be made mandatory. And indeed, in Turkey, in the labor area, in equivalent of our National Industrial Relations Commission, the mediation is considered mandatory, and the first couple of hours of mediation charges are paid for by the government. I strongly suggest for laws to be amended initially as far as our labor laws are concerned, the Industrial Relations Act of 2012, for mediation to be made mandatory before a grievance petition can be filed before either a labor court or the National Industrial Relations Commission. We here in the court have already started urging public sector organizations like the oil and